also represent the city in the cases we are hearing today. Uh, Drea Gutierrez, lead zoning specialist, and Rob Chapman, secretary. Our attorney for the board is Archer Mellon, and our court reporter is Laura Stewart. Today we will be hearing 5 cases. First, we will hear from the city's representative, who will explain why the permit could not be issued. Next, we will hear from the applicant and/or their representative. Then please be prepared to explain your hardship and answer inquiries from the members of the Board of Adjustment. After that, we will then hear from those in favor of the appeal and then from those opposed. Please be concise, as testimony will be limited to 3 minutes per person. When you come online via video or telephone, please wait to be sworn in by the court reporter. Then please state your name and mailing address. To ensure proper records for our court reporter, we ask that those online or by telephone to please remain on mute. Following testimony on all of today's cases, the board will go into its deliberative portion of the hearing, at which time we will vote on all cases heard. The board will notify each applicant and/or their representative of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. You are welcome to remain during our deliberations. However, we will not hear additional testimony at that time. You may also call the lead zoning specialist, Drea, tomorrow at 314-622-3666 to learn the outcome of your appeal. Again, that number is 314-622-3666. Rob, would you please read appeal number 20591?
20591 at address 26009.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Could you hear that okay?
Yeah, it may have just cut off the last number of the street address, but
All right, 2600 North Florissant Avenue. Sorry.
oh well. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Good afternoon, board members. My name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the building commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to operate an event space with full liquor, no cooking at 2600 North Florissant Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. On Friday, September 12th, 2025 at around noon, we received an email from the owner. It states, "Good morning, I'm the owner of the property located at 2600 North Florissant. My former tenant, Kevin Cossey, has been released from his lease and will no longer be seeking the occupancy of this property. Thanks, Chris Robinson, General Manager, HMK Properties." Therefore, it's our recommendation that the board make a motion and vote to dismiss without prejudice, which you could do now if you would like.
I'll make a motion to, what is it called again?
Dismiss without prejudice.
Dismiss. That was the word I was missing. Dismiss without prejudice.
I'll second it.
Motion to dismiss made by Joe, seconded by Mel. All of those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Motion carries. Rob, would you read appeal number 11972?
11972 at address 2215 Mackland Avenue.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole... Sorry, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Again, good afternoon. My name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis. I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to do interior alterations per plans at 2215 Mackland Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Vanka Construction LLC, care of Mike Vandible, concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorizing the petitioner to do interior alterations per plans at 2215 Mackland Avenue, located in city block number 5860.00 is as follows. The present zoning for this address is Zone A, Single Family Dwelling District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to fix reasonable standards to which buildings and structures shall conform. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.20.020 and or 26.20.025. Use regulations and conditional uses of the A single family dwelling district do not allow the petitioner's proposal as stated above. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. In summary, the applicant is applying for a building permit to establish a restaurant banquet overflow seating area. And because it's an expansion of use, a use variance is required for a restaurant event center in the A district. And there has not been a use variance at this location previously. So a new one would be required. The City of St. Louis Plan and Urban Design Agency states there's no adopted neighborhood plan for this location. The 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan calls this a medium intensity neighborhood. And the intent is to support a mix of uses, including some types of commercial activities and neighborhoods serving businesses. Therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 11972 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. And the applicant has proceeded with a zoning hold waiver, which included support from the neighborhood association and the alders. Are there any questions from the board?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant.
Anthony, can we get you unmuted?
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries, and then we'll get you sworn in.
Okay.
Okay.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
My name's Anthony Scorato. Mailing address, I believe, would be 2225 Mackland, St. Louis, Mo. 63110.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my brother Rosario and I own Anthonino's Taverna, and the building at 2215 is a warehouse, and we are looking to an overflow room there for larger parties, bereavements, baby showers, that sort of thing. And as the one board member stated, we have supplied with our letter from the neighborhood association and approval, and our alderman. And I know some people might be concerned about parking in the neighborhood. And so we have contracted with Clayton Valet to move cars to the south and north near the two schools, Shaw School and the Villa, and park at the curb to not disturb, too much that way. We've been in business at the restaurant for 22 years. We've been keep our corner clean. We're good neighbors. We're pretty open door with anyone that has any issues. We've never had any issues, but we're welcome out. So we're just hoping that the board can give us the appeal so we can continue our improvements to the building.
Okay, any board members have any questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Scorato. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Exline, let's get you sworn in.
Good afternoon.
This is Matt Stelzer.
Matt, we'll come back to you.
Wait,
Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Matt, yeah, we'll come back to you. I think the chairman called on Blake Exline first. So Laura, can you swear in
yeah.
Blake? And Matt will come back.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Okay, Blake, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Yes, Blake Exline and 2020 Hereford Street.
Okay, go ahead with your testimony.
Good afternoon. My name is Blake Exline, and I've had the privilege to be a neighbor of Antonino's for more than a decade now. And just wanted to share it. It is my experience that Antonino's is an upstanding and responsible neighbor, a good neighbor to all. In addition, I think it's important to acknowledge that they're really a destination restaurant for many. So they drive a really important economic impact to the Hill, Ward 5, and really the city of St. Louis. So an important aspect of our neighborhood. Upon hearing about the initial plans Antonino's has to invest in this space, I was largely supportive and excited to hear about the use of the currently unused space, with my only hesitation truly being the parking piece. And so having spoken with the owners, I understand their intent, to be really thoughtful and considerate about the use of valet to minimize the impact to the immediately adjacent neighbors and beyond. So with that, I just want to express my support of this request and would advocate for the approval of their appeal. Thank you.
Any board members have any questions? Thanks, Mr. Excellent. Okay, Mr. Stelzer.
Yes, this is Matt.
Okay, let's get you sworn in, Matt.
Okay.
Mr. Stelzer, since you are on the phone, can you please verbally confirm if your right hand is raised?
Yes, it is.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Sure. It's Matthew Stelzer, 230 Macklin.
I'm sorry. Hold on just a second, Matt. We've got some interference going. Okay. Could you state that again for us?
Sure. This is Matthew Stelzer. Address is 2233 Macklin.
Okay. Proceed with your testimony.
Yeah, I want to state that I approve that and I'm in support of it. They've been great neighbors. They brought in much tax dollars to the Hill and to the city in general. I literally live 2 houses from a restaurant, and once in a while I'll have an issue with parking, and that issue is really literally 40 feet away. I have to park. 95% of the time I can park right in front of my house. And so when I heard that they were doing that 2 or 3 doors down from the restaurant, it just, it's a great idea. It's great for overflow. Once again, it brings in people who maybe have been to the Hill, who've not been to the restaurant, and have not experienced the whole Hill and the city at large. So the parking thing also is that the valet is a great idea, and it's going to be about 1.5 blocks, 2 blocks away to where the cars will be going. So I just want to say that I'm in support.
Okay. Any board members have any questions? Thanks, Mr. Stelzer. Is there anyone else here to
Anthony,
testify? Yeah, I'm sorry.
I have
Mel?
a question for Mr. Scrotto. You're saying you're the 2.5 blocks away, or the block away is that on the street parking, or did you make arrangements with those lots to have them park on the lot?
Anthony there. This is Rosario. This is his brother. I'm partners with Anthony.
You got to be sworn in first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
There's Anthony. He's unmuted
Okay.
now.
Okay.
So are the valets staying on the street with the cars, or are they going on a lot?
They're going to go on the curb against the schools. So I've spoken with both schools, and those curbs are wide open all the time. So there's no need to access the lot at Shaw. It's just further away. But the curb on Macklin and the curb on Botanical against Shaw is wide open, and the curb down by the Villa is wide open.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, is there anyone, let's,
Megan
is there
Whitehead.
any, I'm sorry, Miss Whitehead. Let's first hear from Rosario Scarrato. Mr. Scarrato, I'm assuming you are testifying in favor of this appeal.
Yes.
Okay. Let's get you sworn in.
Okay.
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, you could state your name and mailing address for the record.
Yes. Rosario Scarrato, 2225 Macklin, St. Louis, Missouri, 63049.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
Yeah, just hi everybody. So kind of reiterate what my brother just said. We obviously been in business here for 23 plus years. We've been great asset to the neighborhood. Everybody's been wonderful people to work alongside with. Basically, the space is it's a warehouse that's right two doors down from the restaurant. We're only using half of it. So the half that we're using, we're building a kitchen and a quarter of it, and the rest is going to be pretty much an overflow of the dining room. Is what we're calling it. So we get a lot of people calling us for bereavements and small baby showers, and our restaurant is only so big. So we, instead of turning these people away with these different events they're having, we have this small place that we could offer right next to the restaurant. So it is not going to be a banquet. It's basically just an extra dining room that we're trying to offer the people. The Hill is such a great destination spot. The Hill is always full of traffic and very busy place. But we just like to add to the Hill and do this extra thing, and I think it'd be a great thing for everybody.
How many people do you expect to this?
We're looking at about 50 people is what it's going to hold. So it's not a large space. We make our own dough balls. We're making our own pasta, our dough balls for our pizzas, our own pasta, and our table bread. And so part of this area here in the kitchen is going to be where we're going to produce a lot of that stuff. Our restaurant, we have a full prep team in the basement, and it's pretty much maxed out, and we want to be able to make our own products. So we're going to use a majority of the half of the warehouse for our kitchen, call it, and the front half is going to be where we're gonna put the extra, the small extra dining, and it's going to be buffet style. So we would basically cook the food at the restaurant, and since it's right next door, we have hot boxes, wheel it down there, do the party for 2 hours, and the people would go home. There's no, at the restaurant, we close at 10 o'clock every night. So we're open from 11 in the morning to 10 at night. And the banquet, I call it banquet, the extra room is going to be the same, or if not even earlier than that. Parties, we don't do parties more than 2.5 hour parties.
Okay. I was just looking at your plans while you're talking.
Yeah. So basically that's kind of how we're going to set it up as. People would order, have a select menu. Oh, okay, you have a bereavement, or you have a baby shower, you have XYZ to order. And then they would order. My guys in the kitchen would cook it. We would wheel it around in hot boxes, and then we would just serve it out of that room. So it's just an arm. It's just going to be like an arm of the restaurant or another room of the restaurant, basically what it is. And it's pretty neat that we're able to we're manufacturing our own dough now, or we make all fresh pastas, table bread, and we employ 60 employees here for the city of St. Louis and for ourselves. So we have a large staff. We have really good people. We never have any complaints with any kind of problems outside. People, my people work, they go home. There's no hanging around, So I feel we've been really good neighbors, and we just want to add to the Hill. And with the support of the Hill 2000 and the aldermen, and they all understand what we've done and what we've brought to the neighborhood. So I think it's all a positive and good thing.
Any of the board members have any questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Scarato. Ms. Whitehead.
Yes, this is Megan Whitehead.
Okay, let's get you sworn in.
Whitehead, because you're
right.
Sorry.
I have my right hand raised.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Yes, my name is Megan Whitehead, 5642 Wilson, St. Louis, Missouri, 63110.
Okay, go ahead with your testimony.
So I am a neighbor, a property owner. I'm also a block captain and on the Safety and Security Committee for the Hill. And I am in complete support of this expansion for Anthonino's. We love that we are a branded neighborhood, that we have many restaurants that people come to as a destination, Anthonino's being a top one. They're also not talking about their support of the community, that the neighbor to this is the sick and elderly program of the neighborhood in this warehouse, so that if you need a medical piece of equipment, it is donated to your family. So that in of itself makes them a great neighbor, that their support of the schools that are going to be part of this ballet program is admirable for our neighborhood. They are great neighbors and great food. And I completely support this variance, please.
Any board members have any questions? Thanks, Ms. Whitehead. Is there,
Thank you.
excuse me, anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal?
Well, this is Rosario Scarato talking. I also have my my lead contractor for the project here. If anybody has any questions, he's sitting next to me. I don't know if anybody needs to know that, but if anybody has any questions about that, we have the gentleman with me.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there.
Thank you, Mr. Scarato.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay, is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
Yes. Ed Barney.
Okay, Mr. Barney, let's get you sworn in.
Mr. Barney, this is the court reporter. Since you are on the phone, can you verbally confirm that your right hand is raised?
Yes, it is.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Barney, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
My name is Ed Barney, B-A-R-N-I, 5472 Dempsey, D-E-M-P-S-E-Y.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
Well, first of all, I've been a homeowner resident less than a block from the restaurant Antonino's. I would point out that the business addresses that the Scarrato brothers have entered into testimony is their business address that's in question. They do not live on the hill, to my knowledge. And it's also my understanding that the sick and elderly program equipment has been, they've asked them to remove that from the premises. I've been there for 39 years. This represents the third time that they have expanded their services. They have never, in my recollection, asked for the neighbors' opinion and input. I'm extremely disappointed that the Hill 2000 Neighborhood Association approved the plan also without asking for neighborhood input. And this, the idea that valet parking will help, I don't feel that that's going to be sufficient, especially because it's curbside parking. They tried a shuttle service in the past. It didn't work. They discontinued it. I don't see how this is going to be any different. It'll just take extra traffic farther away. The other people who have testified in favor of it don't live as close as I do. I have been to the restaurant very many times, okay? And I will say that the food in there is good, and they owe a lot of success and entitled to that. But I think they have failed to recognize that a big part of their success is where they're located. And their disregard for the neighbors closest to them is a big concern for me. What else? So, you know, when I do go to the restaurant, I will tell you that most of the time I walk back and forth. Why? Not only do I need the exercise, but I'm afraid that if I go somewhere and drive, by the time I get back, whether it's minutes later or hours later, I'm not going to have a place to park, not just in front of my house, but anywhere on the block. I think I rely very heavily on on-street parking, curbside parking, because I can't afford a parking pad, a garage, a carport to take my car off the street. So it's already a nearly impossible situation with the parking. I think the farther, you know, the more it happens, the farther and farther this parking issue is going to be pushed. It's going to affect neighbors that have never been affected before. And I urge the board to deny the appeal and uphold the decision of the building division to deny them a permit. Thank you.
Any board members have any questions? Thanks, Mr. Barney. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
Yes. This is Bob Bianchi.
Yes, Mr. Bianchi, let's get you sworn in.
Hello, Mr. Bianchi. This is the court reporter.
Hello.
Since
Yeah.
you're on the phone, can you please confirm if your right hand is raised?
It is.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Bianchi, if you could state your name and mailing address for the record.
Bob Bianchi, Bianchi, 5430 Elizabeth, 63110. And I really kind of echo what Ed had mentioned. And my main concern on this was the parking. You're going to add an additional 56 spaces because, as the diagram shows, there are 7 tables of 8. And if this is an overflow, really, again, my concern has been parking. And where is the parking going to be? Knowing that they're using off-street parking, and to what Ed had mentioned, the valet had previously not worked. That's just where my curiosity is, because we do have a very difficult time. I'm a block and a half away. And like I said, it's just the parking is really the problem. There's no question of how good Anthoninos has been to the neighborhood, and everybody loves them. But parking has been a problem. So trying to expand and add another 56 people plus to this was just my concern. I'm also the president of the Sick and Elderly program of the Hill. And yes, they did occupy to move our space over. We have less space. We're put down into a basement that now leaks. So we will probably have to move out of there in lieu of the conditions of the other side of the building and the basement in order, because we need more storage. And we went from where we currently were to be moved to the other side of the building to probably less than half the space than what we had before. That being said, our program will always continue, but I just wanted to voice my opinion to deny this just strictly because of the parking, but knowing now that they have alternatives, I would like to see how this is going to work, but that's been my only concern. And then I guess my other point is, since we are in that building, I have noticed, a lot of plumbing work. There has been work being done without permits. So if this hearing is for a permit, can someone just tell me why work is being performed without a permit? That's all. Thank you.
Any board members have any questions? Go ahead, Mona.
Question is, I was a little confused by this, sir. You're in the same building at 2215 Macklin?
Yes, we are in that same building.
So you're going to be operating where the restaurant is with your sick and elder care?
We currently, yes, we are.
Are you staying there? I might have misunderstood.
Yes.
Are you staying
Right
there
now,
or relocating?
yes. Right now we are staying there. But we will probably have to relocate.
Why is that?
But we will probably have to relocate.
Why?
Due to the basement where we would have to store some of our supplies is not good. The steps leading down to them are dangerous, and the space, just the square footage that we went from to where we are now is not enough to handle all of our medical equipment. We carry everything from an ACE bandage to electric hospital beds, to lift chairs, commodes, walkers. We supply all medical equipment to the neighborhood for free. This program has been running. We have been in that space for roughly 10 plus years.
Okay, and just because I want to make sure I get it right, what's the name of your organization, sir?
The Sick and Elderly Program of the Hill.
Thank you.
It started in 1973 by my parents.
Nice. Okay. Thank you.
Any other board members have any questions? Okay, is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
Yep, I'll go ahead and swear in.
Mr. Braden, okay.
Mr. Braden, this is the court reporter. Can you please confirm if your right hand is raised?
It is.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
It will be. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Malin Braden, 2333 Mackland Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri. Yep.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
So I actually found out about this yesterday. And I live about 11 houses up the hill from the restaurant, which would be 12 or 13 street numbers away from the place in question, which I believe is detached with a building in between, a residence in between, and I think they own that as well. So with the main concern being brought up as parking, I live catty corner to Shaw School, and I used to live right across from Sacred Heart Villa. Being that I only heard about this yesterday, I imagine most of the residents alongside Shaw School have not heard about this, which means it hasn't been communicated to them. And when I lived down across from Sacred Heart Villa, there's another restaurant there. I don't think they would care because all their customers street park too. But I don't know if I don't see any of those my former neighbors living down the hill on Mackland. I don't see any of them on this call, and that's already a busy area on restaurant nights. And as you move farther down or go west, there's another restaurant almost on every corner. So I think parking's being downplayed by one side in the conversation, and those against it are trying to explain the situation on a busy restaurant night, being 2 short blocks up the street. There's cars in front of my house every night on busy restaurant nights, so it's already busy. While there are no restaurants up around Shaw School, it is a good area to dump cars, but I would be concerned with those neighbors finding out when a valet service starts that all of a sudden you have people valeting cars, which we have a big problem here in the city with car break-ins. I don't know if that's a new routine that people really want introduced to their blocks, and I would think their voice needs to be a part of this. So circling back to the communication with the neighbors, that's a big low point in this whole process that I'm seeing. There has been no communication to anybody that lives around where this is going to happen. And maybe it's been done with select people or people that are tied to the business or to the Hill 2000. And those networks are very strong because this is the Hill. I've been here for over 10 years now. I've owned in 2 different homes, and I've rented in 1. I currently am a homeowner. I definitely do not think Mackland Avenue needs a valet service. It's a very busy street. Used to be a bus route. People speed up and down this street. Anthonino's restaurant has had a dumpster out front jetting into traffic that has impeded traffic over the last month and a half. And that's, just a sign that if you have a dumpster there, it causes people to have to stop and wait for oncoming traffic to go around. What's it going to be like when there's valets lining up on this busy street? During the pandemic, they had installed 2 cones for pickup. And a lot of times those cars pull up and they park not on the curb, they park in the traffic area. So based on that precedence that I've seen, I don't think a valet service is going to do justice to this street. It'll do great for their business, and it'll do great for bringing people to the Hill, which I think is a great thing. But I don't think this has been communicated out properly. at all to the community. And I do not think most neighbors who are not represented here, because they have not been told, would be very excited if this was approved and this went into effect and no one knew about it. When businesses open up that are serving alcohol, usually we get notices pinned to our door for like a 1 block radius that tells us, hey, this is happening. And that's usually like a first indicator that something's changing in a neighborhood. We haven't seen anything like that. There has been no notices. So I would have to say, based on just that communication piece, I would say this is a no go in my court. And I can't speak for my neighbors, but if they were here, I would imagine most of them would say they don't want cars being valeted in front of their houses.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Braden. Mona has a question.
Just real quick, Mr. Braden, are you a member of Hill 2000 Neighborhood Association?
I am.
And did you guys make a collective decision, or
Nope.
did the board make it?
I'm sure that's a board decision. I don't actually make it to every meeting based on my parenting schedule. So if it was discussed at a meeting openly with all members, which is, you know, anybody in the community that pays the dues for the year, I missed that meeting. I would imagine it was probably a board call.
Do you guys have minutes? Do you get minutes sent out from the board meetings or your neighborhood association meetings? Do those go out? Is that a typical
They're not
behavior?
in their periodical that goes out. Periodical is just basically like a community newsletter, tells us what's going on, you know, praise here to activities and photos and stories about the Hill. The meetings might be on their website. Don't frequent their website that often, so it's possible that they're there. I can check that.
Thank you.
Evan, when was this posted?
Oh, let me grab the photos. I'm gonna file it. September 8th.
Okay, so a little over 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. Okay. All right. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
May I add to my previous testimony?
Mr. Barney, you may not.
Thank you.
I think James Ersey got his hand
James,
up.
yes. Let's get you sworn in. Once you unmute yourself.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Just make sure you're there. You go. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Yes, James Ersey, 5445 Botanical Avenue.
All right. Go ahead with your testimony.
I would just want to say that I'm in favor of it. I do understand that the parking is a huge concern for all the neighbors. I live 2 blocks up. My mom and sister live half a block away, and they're not planning on doing an open menu, which I think is, you know, pretty, which is good, because it's not like they're saying, hey, we have this second restaurant down the street. It's mainly going to be used, in my knowledge, for overflow. So they're not going to be accommodating, you know, open menu. So like people, in my opinion, they're going to be there for the party or whatever its intent is for a couple hours and then leaving. It's not going to be, you know, full from like 10 till closing, like the regular restaurant, in my opinion. and they are working on getting the valet. They are doing the opposite side of where there are residents, and I don't see why there wouldn't be a problem with Shaw School. If there was going to be any issues, I don't see why there'd be a problem with talking with them about using their lot access. I think that would be beneficial if there was to be any issues down the road, that they could either use that or Rick's Ace Hardware, which is also a few blocks away.
Okay. Any board members have any questions?
Mr. Robinson, I know I'm not a board
Yes.
member, but I am curious what the applicant had to go through with Hill 2000 for the approval letter. Is that something we could ask?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Ersey. Mr. Scarrato, Anthony, can you answer that?
Yes, sure. Thank you. My brother and I, submitted, first to Alderman Devotee about what we were doing, and he recommended we would meet and submit with the Hill 2000, which we did. And we met with the board. This was back in, I think maybe April and April or May time, and got their support and approval. And the parking, let me reiterate, the curbside is where the valet would go with the cars against the school, not against people's curb where their home is. And in the past, we tried valet, and it worked, but it just didn't. A lot of people weren't taking to it. But with an event, and we provide, if someone's coming there for, say, a bereavement, we would understand and believe that they would utilize the valet because they want to get in and out easier. And the cars would be put onto the school curb. And if that is an issue down the road, we can certainly talk to Shaw School and get access to their lot because they let us use it before. I think we're doing what we can to offset this problem on the public street.
Okay. Mary has a question, but before that, I was going to ask you about this dumpster in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to that?
Yes, the dumpster is supposed to be getting picked up, and from our contractors, doing some removing debris from inside the building.
Okay. Thank you.
There is a permit for that.
Thank you.
Mr. Scarrato, got a question.
Yes.
How many of these parties do you think you will have in a week or?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would think 1 to 2 would be a great goal. Birthday parties, baby showers, those things, people have those a lot. I think we can grasp a few of those, a week. That'd be great.
And the overflow dining. Sorry about the echo.
That's okay.
The overflow dining, would you be using that every night? And would it be used like the restaurant, stay open till the same time?
No. So when we say overflow, no, because there's not going to be a full-on kitchen there. It's going to be more of a preparatory kitchen. So if there was a ball team coming to town and they wanted to have pizza, we would put them over there. It's just going to be used as an appointed. So no, it's not going to be open daily and nightly. We couldn't staff it for that, and it's not set up for that. So it'll just be by appointment.
Thank you.
No problem.
I have a question for him.
What does that mean by appointment?
Well, like a reservation, by reservation, excuse me. So if somebody called and said, my son or daughter or whatever, they're having a baby shower. Okay, we know it's on the 17th and it's going to be for 30 people. We would put them there, and that would be their reserved time to have their party.
Have you, Mr. Scarrato?
Yes.
Have you approached Shaw School or Ace Hardware or some of the lots around there to see if we could get the cars, instead of putting them on the street, putting them?
Certainly. Oh, sorry, go ahead. There's a Korean church on Botanical. We were hopeful to work something out with them because they have a large lot behind their church which doesn't get used, but just on Sunday. They declined as of late because that was a sure spot for it. And I have been in talks. I talked to the villa, and like I said, their curb is wide open at night. And the reason
I'm not talking about curbs.
I know
Talking about getting the cars off the street.
Sure. Yes. And we can certainly look into that at Shaw School because we have done it in the past. We just thought it would be, simpler to do what we had suggested, on the curb.
And I have somewhat of a problem that, when you have a construction going on there and you put up another sign like this, people don't really understand. They don't really pay attention to it. So a lot of the neighbors may have not even seen the sign going up, where I think possibly the neighbors, even though you went to the board, the Hill 2000 board, I don't think the neighbors were given a chance to vet their feelings towards all this.
It was brought up at the Hill 2000 meeting last Thursday. We did what we were told, what we thought was best to do. I don't know. We weren't hiding anything, or nothing was being, secretive. It was pretty out there.
Right, but Thursday and then today is less than a week. So if the people at the meeting on Thursday had less than a week to talk to their neighbors and the people that were actually there, it's not a very long time for people to have an opportunity to discuss this, would you think?
Well,
Mona, I'm sorry, Mr. Scarato, did you not just testify that there was actually a meeting back in April?
It was. This was brought up in April and May with the Hill 2000. When we met with the Hill 2000, they brought it up at their meeting in May. Okay, and then I guess because this denial happened and the sign was put on the door is probably why it got brought up again. I don't know.
When you said they brought it up at their meeting in May, was it the board meeting that they discussed it, or was it the general meeting in May, or do you know?
I can't say for sure certain because I wasn't at that meeting, but to my understanding, it was brought up at the general. But I can't. I shouldn't say that because I wasn't there. But that's what I was told.
Are you a member?
I am a member of the Hill Business Association, but as a non-resident, I'm not a member of the Hill 2000, so I didn't get to go to the meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mary, you've been waiting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is for Mr. Scarato. I just want to make sure I understand. So when you said you have a contract, your contract was actually with the valet. It's not a contract with somebody that owns a parking lot where you can park the cars. And then the valet is just going to take the cars up by the Shaw School and park them on the same side of the street as the school. Is that correct?
Yes. On the curb. Oh, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
How far away is that exactly?
Ms. Whitehead, you cannot testify at this point.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Mona.
Mr. Scarato, how far away is that exactly?
What's that? What the parking cars?
Yeah.
The school, it's 1/10 of a mile, a little less than 1/10 of a mile.
Thank you.
And also the sign has been on the
Rosario, you cannot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Any other board members have any questions? All right. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Okay, hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, memo from Planning and Urban Design, an owner statement for building permit issued with zoning hold, a letter of support from Alderman Matt Devotie, a letter of support from Jennifer Giannino, the Hill 2000 Neighborhood Association, and valet proposal submitted by petitioner. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Rob, can you read appeal number 11975?
11975 at address 4309 Holly Hills Avenue.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Again, good afternoon, board members. My name is Evan Winkler, a community development planner for the city of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the building commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to modify an existing cell tower per plans at 4309 Holly Hills Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of SCC Verizon, care of Hans Mugler, concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorizing the petitioner to modify an existing cell tower per plans at 4309 Holly Hills Avenue, located in city block number 5608.00 is as follows. The present zoning for this address is Zone A, Single Family Dwelling District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to prevent additions to and alterations or remodeling of existing buildings or structures in such a way as to avoid the limitations lawfully imposed. The applicable zoning provisions are Section 26.08.437 Wireless Facility, equipment at a fixed location that enables wireless communications between user equipment and a communications network, including equipment associated with wireless communications and radio transceivers, antennas, coaxial or fiber optic cable, regular and backup power supplies, and comparable equipment, regardless of technological configuration. The term includes small wireless facilities. The term does not include the structure or improvements on, under, or within which the equipment is co-located, coaxial or fiber optic cable between wireless support structures or utility poles, and coaxial or fiber optic cable not directly associated with a particular small wireless facility, or a wireline backhaul facility as defined by Missouri statutes. Also, Section 26.08.438 wireless support structure, a structure such as a monopole, tower, or building capable of supporting wireless facilities. This definition does not include utility poles. And then Section 26.16.010 use is prohibited. No structure or land shall be used for use other than those permitted in the district in which such premises are located, unless such use is permitted by other provisions of the zoning code. Section 26.16.020 structure prohibited. No structure shall be erected, placed, enlarged, or structurally altered unless such action shall make the premises upon which it shall stand conform to the regulations in which the premises are located, unless authorized by the provisions of the zoning code. And then Section 26.20.020 and or 26.20.025 use regulations and conditional uses of the A single family dwelling district do not allow the petitioner's proposal as stated above. And finally, Section 26.20.050 height regulations. No building hereafter erected shall exceed 2.5 stories or 35 feet in height, unless 2 side yards of not less than 10 feet in width are provided, in which case a building may not exceed 3 stories or 45 feet in height. Any church, school, or government building may be erected to a height not exceeding 85 feet, provided that the front and rear yards are increased by a depth of side yard are increased in width beyond the area regulations 1 foot for each foot of height. That building exceeds the 35 feet. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. So in summary, this is an existing Verizon cell tower, and it was given approval per appeal 8773. However, it's an expansion of capacity both in the wireless facility and the support structure. So the new pole will actually be a total of 77 feet high. The previous approval was for 75 feet 6 inches, as well as the additional wireless facility infrastructure needed to support this cell tower. Therefore, a use variance is required for wireless facilities in the A district. A use variance is required for the wireless support structure in the A district, and then an area variance is required for the increase in height. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states there's no adopted neighborhood plan covering this location. The 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan calls this a medium intensity neighborhood. Limited utility infrastructure installations are allowed in this district so long as they are integrated into the surrounding context. This wireless facility is pre-existing and sits at the rear of the parcel along the alleyway. Therefore, planning staff finds that the request of appeal number 11975 is not in conflict with the city's comprehensive plan. Are there any questions from the board?
What's the height increase?
Only 6 inches.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, let's hear from the appellant.
Hi,
Miss
I'm Emily Roseberry.
Hi, Ms. Roseberry. Let's get you sworn in.
Great.
Roseberry, this is the court reporter. Can you please verbally confirm that your right hand is raised?
It is.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
My name is Emily Roseberry. I am with Selective Site Consultants representing Verizon in this application. My mailing address is 7171 West 95th Street, Suite 600, Overland Park, Kansas, 66212.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
Thank you. So we are representing Verizon here. They have an existing stealth flag pole at that corner of Holly Hills Avenue and Morgan Ford Road. And as it was stated, it is up back up against that alleyway in the rear of the property. Verizon is proposing to replace antennas within the pole, and that is going to increase the height of the tower by about 6 inches. And but all of the proposed new antennas will remain entirely enclosed within a canister. So the existing stealth elements of the site will remain in compliance. So yeah, that's why we are requesting an appeal to this denial, so we can get our building permit. The proposed changes will not result in any substantial changes to the existing facility or result in any adverse effects to the surrounding area. And it will, granting this appeal would allow Verizon's service in the area to continue uninterrupted, and it also includes upgrading the antennas to 5G technology. So that's it.
Okay. Any board members have any questions? All right. Thanks, Ms. Roseberry. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay, is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, and a memo from Planning and Urban Design. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Rob, can you read appeal number 11978?
11978 at address 5740 Dr. Martin Luther King Drive.
You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Again, my name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to install one wall sign illuminated per plans at 5740 Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Plasti Light signs, care of Bob Stevens, concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit authorizing the petitioner to install one wall sign illuminated per plans at 5740 Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, located in city block number 3819.09, is as follows. The present zoning for this address is Zone G, Local Commercial and Office District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to fix reasonable standards to which buildings and structures shall conform. And the applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.68.100C, signs in zones districts G and H. C says that permitted sign types include wall, window, ground, marquee, and roof signs are permitted. In addition, projection signs that comply with the provisions in the definitions section designated as section 26.68.02015A through E are also permitted. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. So in summary, the applicant's applying for a wall sign, but it meets the definition of electronic message center, which is not a permitted sign type in this zoning district. Therefore, one use variance would be required for an electronic message center prior to approval. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states that in the review of appeal number 11978, staff has determined that the required special circumstances, which would warrant further scrutiny of the proposal against the 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan, have not been met. Therefore, no finding of conformity or nonconformity with the adopted plan has been made. Are there any questions about the sign from the board?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant. Mr. Boyd, let's get you sworn in.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Jeffrey Boyd, 5740 Dr. Martin Luther King Drive, St. Louis, Missouri, 63112.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm excited about this project of having an illuminated sign, a digital signboard that can announce events that are coming to our event space. Basically, we're at Martin Luther King and Goodfellow. My wife and I are heavily invested in our community. We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars rehabbing this facility. We're excited about it. It's really a hidden gem in the city of St. Louis. We use it for events where people have whatever type of celebration that somebody wants to have. And there are thousands of cars that pass down Martin Luther King across Goodfellow every day. And we're a small business, and we want to be able to market ourselves better so we can increase the revenue. We're just excited to be here. We do everything we can to enhance the community. There's already a precedence set for these type of signs. At 5920 Martin Luther King, High Tech Charities has a digital board. Friendly Temple at 5515 has a digital board. At also at 5515, Midwest Bank Center has a digital board. Catacorner from our business is Mom's Kitchen at 1507 Goodfellow they have a digital board. And in keeping with that trend, we really think that this will enhance and grow our business. Because right now, people pretty much just drive by. If they happen to see something going on, they'll ask questions. But we really, truly need to make ourselves known to the community, to the people that drive up and down. And when people come here, we get nothing but compliments. That's all I have to offer.
Okay.
They have,
sorry, Mel.
I was going to
Go
say
ahead.
they have conditions for the signage like that. I think, Evan, do we have those we could read to him?
Yeah, let me pull them.
And give me just a second, Evan, while you pull those up. Mary, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just going to ask that Evan please read the standard conditions to Mr. Boyd so that he's aware these are conditions that you all might consider.
Okay.
Thank you.
Evan.
All right. So standard condition number 1 states that no sign shall be illuminated that interferes with the effectiveness of an official traffic sign, signal, or device. Number 2 says any flashing, blinking, fading, scrolling, fluctuating, or animation is prohibited. Number 3 is such signs shall display static images for a period of at least X number of seconds or minutes before transitioning to another static image. Number 4 states that the sign shall be illuminated between the hours of X a.m. to X p.m. Number 5 says such signs shall come equipped with automatic dimming technology, which automatically adjusts the sign's brightness based on ambient light levels. Number 6 is such signs shall not exceed 0.3 foot candles above ambient light as measured using a foot candle meter at a present distance based on sign size. Number 7 is no sign shall emit an odor, noise, amplified sound, or music, radio frequencies, or visible matter other than light. And number 8, all existing temporary signs on the premises must be removed, and all existing signage on the premise must have the appropriate permits from the City of St. Louis.
Mr. Boyd, do you have any?
That makes sense to me. I'm kind of a little confused. I would think that I was hoping that the project manager could log in to be more technically specific to what's going on. But the sign that I'm having put up is smaller than the one that Friendly Temple has. It pretty much does the same thing, similar to Midwest Bank.
So Mr. Boyd, do you have any issues with any of the items that Evan listed?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
Anthony, go ahead, Mary. I was afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman, there's a couple of those conditions that Evan read off that the answer is blank depending on the testimony. I'd like to ask Mr. Boyd a couple questions so we make sure we condition this correctly. Mr. Boyd, typically the board will limit the timing that these types of signs can change their images. Do you have an issue with that?
No.
Okay. And then
May I ask you, Mary? I think he read, is it 30 seconds?
No, he said X seconds. X is, so the board has limited it sometimes to 30 seconds in between changes. Is that a number you could live with?
That's reasonable.
Okay. And then also, what about the hours? Typically, the board will put a condition about hours, and they typically do it based on the business hours. And then they sometimes take into consideration the location of the sign, like if it were on all night long, would it shine into the backyard of a residential area that might cause some problems? So are there some preferred hours that you could work with?
The plan was absolutely nothing across the street to impede on anybody's lighting situations. There are no neighbors. This is a commercial street. We don't have any residential neighbors here. But we would like to have it 24 hours.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Mr. Boyd,
Yes.
you understand that the sign can only advertise for your center. It can't be, you can't rent out space for other people to advertise on it.
Didn't know that, but our goal was when we have special events that would be advertised.
Right. Okay. So am I correct, Mary? They can only be.
I was just going to clarify. So I think what Mel is trying to stress, Mr. Boyd, is that the definition of a sign is something that advertises a product or a service that is on premise. So we would expect you to only advertise things that are taking place on premise. And you're not allowed to sell like advertising of another product or service or event or anything like that.
Got you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Boyd? All right. Thank you. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Alderwoman Tyus. Well, let's get you sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
And if you could state your name and mailing address for the record.
Sharon Tyus, Alderwoman of the 12th Ward, City Hall, room 230, 63103.
Okay. Proceed with your testimony.
And so I want to back up what Jeffrey Boyd said about his restaurant. It is a very nice restaurant. I've been there before. It's not a restaurant, I'm sorry, event center. He takes really good care of it inside and out. There is no residential across the street from him. So I just want to back up everything he says. I can't support signage because I'm not a signage person, but I can say that he does a really good job with his event space, and it's kept clean, and he and his family put a lot of money and time and energy. That's just what I wanted to say as a supportive measure.
Okay. Any board members have any questions? Thank you, Alderwoman. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, and a memo from Planning and Urban Design. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Rob, can you read appeal number 11954?
11954 at address 4160 North Kings Highway, Memorial Boulevard.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Again, my name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to make exterior alterations per plan zoning only for a bus fleet charging depot at 4160 North Kings Highway Memorial Boulevard. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Highland Electric Fleets, care of Tom Fidds, concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit that would authorize the petitioner to make exterior alterations per plan zoning only at 4160 North Kings Highway Memorial Boulevard in city block number 4383.05 is as follows. The present zoning for this address is Zone A, Single Family Dwelling District, and Zone F, Neighborhood Commercial District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to regulate and restrict the location and use of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, and other uses, and to regulate and restrict the intensity of such uses. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.16.030, open storage prohibited. The use of land within any dwelling district for the purpose of open storage is hereby prohibited. Also section 26.20.020 and or 26.20.025. The use regulations and conditional uses of the A single family dwelling district do not allow the petitioner's proposal as stated above. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. This case was originally heard on July 23rd, 2025, at which time board member Klitzing made a motion to table appeal number 11954 until the next available hearing date. Sorry, it wasn't fully heard. It was at the petitioner's request to continue to allow the petitioner to gather the necessary evidence for their appeal. It was seconded by board member Hitt, and the motion passed by unanimous vote of the board, and the hearing was rescheduled for a later date, which is today. So in summary, the applicant's applying for a bus charging depot for St. Louis City Schools on a parcel that's dual zoned. When a parcel is dual zoned, the more restrictive zoning designation applies, which in this case is the A single family dwelling district. And outside storage parking is not a permitted use in the A district. Therefore, a use variance would be required prior to approval. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states that there's no adopted neighborhood plan covering this area. However, the 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan calls this a medium intensity neighborhood. And these are areas primarily that are residential with housing, ranging from medium scale multi-unit buildings to single unit buildings. These areas discourage automobile related activities as well as most industrial uses. Therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 11954 is not in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. However, they do note that if a variance should be granted, in order to keep within the designation's intent to promote increased residential density and neighborhoods serving businesses, the board should consider conditioning the variance. And some possible conditions may include appropriate human-friendly and high-quality landscaping or screening to be used along the perimeter wherever the property faces residences, especially along Lee Avenue to the south and the eastern edge of the property. They might also consider improvements to the public realm around the property, which may include landscaping and improved sidewalks in order to improve the pedestrian experience around this use. So with that, are there any questions I can answer from the board?
This is just for school buses, correct? Evan?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, let's hear from the appellant.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Let's get you sworn in.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, if you could state your name and mailing address for the record.
My name is Scott Harrison, 200 Cummings Center, Suite 273D, Beverly, Massachusetts, 01915.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
Thank you so much. If you don't mind, I'm going to send a request to share my screen. Is that permitted?
Oh, sorry.
That is not.
Oh, it's not permitted? Okay. I'll
No.
just I will just make two screens here. I'll do my best to have you guys follow along with what I'm going to present.
All of the board members do have a copy of the plans. So if you need to
Okay.
describe what you submitted, they'd be able to reference it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll start from the top then. So my name is Scott Harrison. I'm the Fleet Solutions Manager for Highland Electric Fleets, project partner of St. Louis Public Schools. I'm here to present evidence of hardship to support our appeal 11954 for an EV charging depot at the former Scullin School. Let me keep going here. I'm going to start with a little background on the project and the site location, why we chose this location. I had some images I was going to share, but I think you guys have those already. So I will skip over those, and then I'll leave plenty of time for questions because I'm sure there will be a number of those. So quick background on how this project came about. So St. Louis Public Schools, in conjunction with its project partner, Highland Electric Fleets, applied for and received 2 federal grants for the implementation of EV school buses. The EPA Clean Heavy Duty Vehicle Award and the EPA Clean School Bus Award, totaling $17.8 million solely for the deployment of EV school buses for St. Louis Public School students. The number of school buses that is supposed to support is 60 school buses. In conjunction with St. Louis Public Schools staff, we did an analysis of all the properties that St. Louis Public Schools owned and came up with the Scullin School as the most suitable location for a few reasons. As you guys know, the Scullin School is in the Penrose neighborhood, North St. Louis. The school has been closed for about 20 years. Both the large school on the property, the former elementary school, and the parking lot are in a substantial state of disrepair. And as we already went over, the parcel's split between 2 zoning designations, A, single-family residential, and F, neighborhood commercial. Historical use of the site, the property served as an elementary school for SLPS, I think 1930 to about 2003. It has not been used and has been vacant, to my knowledge, since it shut down in 2003. So getting into our hardship, why we chose this location, 3 key criteria led to this decision. So it's really important to St. Louis Public Schools to have this project on a piece of property that they own to take control of their transportation system. I think the biggest piece, right, is the size of this property. There's already a really substantial parking lot here that is big enough to fit all 60 of these EV school buses. Obviously, we'd be doing quite a bit of work to redo that parking lot, but essentially we would be turning a parking lot from a parking lot into a parking lot again. It would just be redone and have charging stations in it. The second piece is the location. Scullin School is in the North City, and we can easily serve a lot of SLPS students with minimal deadhead distance. So that's a crucial factor when we're considering EV school buses. That's basically minimizing the time between where the depot is and where we're picking up the kids. And so this depot is well suited for that. Third piece, power capacity. So when we're putting in an installation of this size, a really important piece, do we have the power to support 60 DC fast charging stations? We've talked with Ameren, worked with them quite a bit on this project, and they do have the ability to bring in the service we need at this location. So basically disallowing this use puts us in jeopardy of losing that $17.8 million to support St. Louis Public Schools students with these EV school buses. Jumping into some community considerations, community health. So these are EVs, right? So no increase in pollution. The buses are all electric. They do not emit any emissions, particulate matter, or carbon monoxide. Pretty minimal increase in noise. If you have experience with EVs, you know they do not make a lot of noise during operation. And we designed the site so that all the vehicles would pull out in the morning, directly out, no backing up, reversing. And then we also have a substantial wooden fence, both for sound and aesthetics, around all the corners of the property that abut residential areas. And then repairing the lot, I think, is a community benefit in itself. Right now, frankly, it's falling apart, and we'd be redoing the entire lot itself. Community safety, the use of these EV school buses is consistent with the historical use and traffic pattern that was here. albeit it's been 20 some years since that traffic existed. There once was a time, right, when there was a lot of traffic coming in and out of the school. And we would keep all of that traffic basically between the first 500 feet of Penrose Street from Kings Highway. So it's not like these buses would be looping through the neighborhood. Obviously, some of them would go into the neighborhood to pick up children, but that would be the extent of that school bus traffic. I think you guys have the design, so if we need to reference something on that, I think you can see it in your packets. We also have some letters of support that I want to acknowledge from Penrose residents, the Penrose Neighborhood Association, the North Newstead Association, and Representative Kimberly Ann Collins, 77th District, City of St. Louis. That's what I have today, and I'm happy to take questions at this time.
Matt, how much extra power, I mean, with putting all that there, does it require, is it going to affect the neighborhood to have that much charging station there?
It should not affect the neighborhood, no. Essentially, Ameren has told us that they have enough capacity on the nearby lines. I think they actually recently did an upgrade to a substation nearby. So they have the excess power to support a deployment of this size. A lot of places in the city, they would not have that excess power available, and it would take pretty substantial reworking of the system.
And the buildings remain there, it's just using the parking lot, correct?
Yeah, so that's a great clarification. So this ask today is pretty specific to the parking lot, but the intention of the school district is that Scullin School would be taken down as like an immediate next step if this were to be approved. Obviously, that would be a separate but parallel process.
Yeah, this is a secure lot, or it will be a secure lot.
It will be, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mona.
I know that the vehicles will be very quiet. There is a concern that I have about how quiet they are. Children tend to run in streets, and other vehicles produce noise. Is that a concern at all? Because there is a lack of noise and you don't hear them coming and you don't hear them backing up. Is there any noise at all that these vehicles will produce to protect the children? Because you don't hear them.
It's a great question. And so that is a concern. And I'll clarify, they do actually make noise when they back up. It is a Missouri state regulation that all school buses have to make noise when they back up. And so that's part of this intentional designing of the site. We didn't want to have a situation where at 6:37 in the morning when these buses are leaving, they were going to be beeping when they're backing up and disturbing, folks in the neighborhood. So that's why we have it that they would be pulling directly out in the morning. So in the afternoon, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock-ish, they would come and back in. And at that time, they would make a noise. However, we've equipped the buses with variable backup alarms. They basically adjust the ambient noise of the surroundings. So they'll basically go down to, I think it's 80 some decibels, which is the lowest legal limit allowed by the state of Missouri. Assuming there's no other loud noises going on at that time, then they would actually make more noise to make sure that folks could hear them. But we have designed the site to minimize that noise. But I think more directly to your question, they do make noise when they're backing up for the students' safety and other people's safety.
And will you have any dumpsters or trash receptacles on the site for the drivers?
It's a great question. There is, I'll be honest, the EV depot piece is what we focused on, the actual charging stations for this ask, but there will be a need for probably a small transportation facility, and that's sort of this concurrent project that will be happening. There will certainly be space for the drivers, and that would include things like restrooms, trash receptacles.
So you're putting a building on the site?
At some point in time, excuse me, at some point in time, I think a building would be put on site, yes.
Okay, here's a problem I have with what the order in which you're doing things. You're putting this here, and you know that they have to have places for these people to have, like you say, restrooms or just lockers and stuff like that. So now we've got a bunch of buses parked there. I'm looking at the plan when I'm talking to you. So I have all these buses parked there, but I don't have any place for the drivers to, once they clean out the buses, to take care of the trash for themselves to go and have things. And then it just seems like we're doing things out of order.
Yeah, I can understand that. One of the things that's driving this is actually deadlines from the EPA to use this money. And so we're trying to make sure we build the depot to be in compliance with the EPA. And in a sort of parallel but separate path, we're going to be building these other things. Now, those things are not directly tied to the money that St. Louis Public Schools is the beneficiary of from the federal government. So they don't have to be tied to the exact same timeline. But we're not trying to create a scenario where this is an operational facility and it doesn't have things that the drivers need. So there may be a, oh, go ahead.
What about repairs for the buses? Is it done there, or is it, where would they be repaired?
The long-term plan is that repairs will be done here. So there will be some sort of...
I understand long-term. Short-term,
someone will have to do the repairs, right? So if we don't have a facility built in time and the buses are there, Highland will be doing those repairs remotely. So we will either bring techs to the site or we will bring them to our other facilities.
Okay, thank you.
Any other board members have any questions? Okay. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal?
Yes.
Ms. Owens.
Yes, sir.
Let's get you sworn in.
Owens, because you're on the phone, this is the court reporter, by the way. Can you please verbally confirm that your right hand is raised?
Can you see me now?
Oh, yes. I cannot see your hand, however, because of the shadow. There we go. Thank you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay,
First,
sorry, state your name and mailing address for the record.
Yolanda Owens, 4625 Lee Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63115.
Okay, proceed.
First, I wanted to say we're excited that the school board is providing their unwavering support in this matter. Secondly, State Rep Kimberly Collins, we also thank you. And third, the Penrose Neighborhood Association and the North Newstead Association also support. So I've already stated my name. And again, we express our strong support for Highland Electric Fleet's proposed redevelopment project. Our community has been waiting for real investment and revitalization in this area for a long time. The former Scullin Elementary School building has been vacant and deteriorating over 20 years. And this project is an opportunity to finally bring new life, jobs, and resources to our neighborhood. Our community has been waiting for real investment and revitalization for an extremely long time. The former Scullin Elementary School building has been vacant and deteriorating for over 20 years. Sorry about that, hold on. We believe Highland's plan to establish an electric fleet facility is the kind of forward-thinking, sustainable business that St. Louis needs. It would not only create economic opportunity and potential for local jobs, but it will also improve public safety by revitalizing a long neglected property. Most importantly, our residents support this project. We want to see growth, cleaner technology, and positive development in North St. Louis, and Highland is stepping up to make this happen. No other entity has came up to make this happen. We've had gas stations. That's it in our community for the most part, where we just had several shootings. So our community is exciting. The Penrose Neighborhood Association meets monthly. At each meeting, we have gotten and received positive support for this effort. There's a park across the street on one side. There's a school across the street. There may be one house. There are a few houses that sit like right next to the school. And from my understanding, most of those residents are excited about the potential investment. We want our property value to go up. We've had a young lady who was almost pulled in that school and abducted and hurt because it's been vacant, and there are people just go in and out. It's graffitied, and it's been that way for over 20 years. We have begged the city to come out to basically take down the graffiti, put up the fence, rusted fence. People have been hurt. We had a neighbor that broke their leg because the one of the pillars had fallen down. So we respectfully request that Highland do the things that are needed for this to go through the proper process and this to be awarded to our community. The highway sits right there. Again, we're excited about it. So thank you.
Any board members have any questions? Thank you, Ms. Owens. Ms. Wheeler.
Okay, hello.
Yes, let's get you sworn in.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, I just want to say,
I'm
I'm
sorry, Ms. Wheeler.
Go ahead.
Need you to state your name and mailing address for the record.
Robin Wheeler, 4188 Sacramento Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63115.
Okay, now you can proceed.
Okay, I just want to say I support this project. I live in the neighboring community, O'Fallon community. My son used to go to school across the street at City Academy, and that's about maybe the 2010s, mid 2000s. And over the years, I've watched that school literally deteriorate, just like the other public schools over here. Nobody's ever interested in developing. Harrison School is a mess. Central is a mess. Scullins is a mess. And I could go on and on. The only thing we do see over here that seems to get approved are gas stations, convenience stores. They both have to sell liquor, and tire shops. I think that they need to do something about the zoning, and the people want it. It is near, I think Matthew Dickey sits back from it. The park is across, and the schools are the three biggest businesses or entities in the area. And I'm hoping that if they are to come, maybe other people, some more diverse businesses will see the opportunities over here, because we need a lot of help, honestly. And we're tired of what we typically get. And I'm just excited that somebody that the St. Louis Public School supports also is interested in coming to this community. That's all I have to say.
Okay, any board members have any questions? Thanks, Ms. Wheeler. Julia.
Hello.
Hi, let's get you sworn in.
Okay. Can you see my right hand?
Yes, I can. However, Miss Julia, could I please ask for your last name just for the sake of the record?
My last name is Allen, Allen.
Thank you. I will swear you in now.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Julia, can you now state your name and mailing address for the record?
Okay, my name is Julia Allen. My address is 3939 North Market Street. And I support what Ms. Wheeler and the president of the Neighborhood Association also said. I think one of the good things about it is that it's bringing a different type of business and economy into North St. Louis. And like Ms. Wheeler said, all we get are gas store and convenience stores. And this to me shows that somebody is thinking out the box. Somebody is looking to bring something positive into the neighborhood that's going to actually benefit not only the neighborhood, but but the people who live in the neighborhood, it'll probably provide some jobs for some people. And I think that it's the right way to go. We don't see any major businesses running into North St. Louis at all. So this would be a great start. And maybe it will get people to change their mind about the opportunity to work with community and communities in North St. Louis.
Okay. Any board members have any questions? All right. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay, and then before we proceed, Mr. Harrison, can you tell me how tall the proposed fence screening will be on the site?
Yeah, the proposed fence right now is 6 feet tall. It's a wooden fence that's 6 feet tall.
Okay. Thank you.
Scott, do you mind? So the plans that you guys submitted says proposed 8-foot chain link fence with barbed wire top. So just, this is zoning only, but just FYI, that would need to be changed.
Yeah, that's incorrect. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Anthony,
go ahead, Mel.
Mr. Harrison, will there be security of some type on this lot, cameras or security of some type?
Yeah, we'll be having substantial assets on this site, both in the form of the charging station and the school buses themselves for St. Louis. There will certainly be a camera system. There may be someone there as well. That remains to be seen, but at a very minimum, there will be a camera system installed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? All right. Is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
Yes.
Alderwoman Tyus. We will start with the Alderwoman. Let's get you sworn in again.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
And then, of course, state your name and mailing address for the record.
My name is Sharon Tyus, Alderwoman of the 12th Ward. My mailing address is City Hall, 1200 Market, City Hall, room 230, 63103. Had to think there.
Okay, go ahead with your testimony.
First of all, I want to say that I am very disappointed that I'm here because you have way more information than I do. Mr. Harrison, when he came in July the 23rd, he said, oh, he wanted to continue a continuance because he wanted to get his stuff together, his items together, but also that he was going to meet with myself and the community with a community forum. He even put that in writing to me. So I agreed to the continuance because I brought a group of people along with my written letters opposing this venture. But because he wanted to meet, I wanted to have conversations with him. I started to call that organization when we ended that day. I called at 2:04 on July the 23rd, and I called for 2 weeks to try to meet with them. They would not return my phone calls. Finally, I called Mr. Harrison because I had been instructed to talk to Chris Orlando. And when I called Mr. Harrison, he said, oh, he's been on vacation, so sorry. So then I had a conversation with him, told him that I had spoken to the school board and told him why my opposition was basically the zoning and the questions we had about it, and went out and found 5 other places that are all within a mile or so of this location that is appropriately zoned, because across the street between Kings Highway and Union and Natural Bridge and Bircher, there is an industrial area that would house this. I am a green energy person. I sent him that stuff. He sent me a text back. Didn't hear from him again for 2 weeks. I then sent him a letter because I'm still trying to have this community forum meeting that he had promised me, and he never had it. And so I'm very, very disappointed. And he said, oh, well, I was working on something else. And so we never had a meeting. But so I have come here to ask for another continuance so we can have that meeting. If we cannot have that meeting, then I'm adamantly opposed to this location. One of the commissioners asked the right questions about putting a bus charging station. They're trying to backdoor this thing. They're starting talking about 30 buses, but they want to go to 60 and more. It's also called, besides a charging station, it is also a maintenance station. This, for Scullin schools to be built back in the 30s, they had to get a conditional use. This was not even a right for the school to be there. Penrose is a unique community of mostly single-family houses that are mostly owner-occupied. It's been that way as long as I can remember. When I got elected in 91, it was like that. We have been lucky. We built a Matthew Dickey's in part of the park. City Academy is across the street. We've worked really hard to do things that would complement Penrose. I was devastated when Penrose was, when Scullins was closed, but it was not the city. I heard Robin Wheeler talk about the city. The city doesn't own the school. That's the school board. They have been the most horrible absentee owners anybody can ever want to talk about. They have on purpose let it sit there. We have had meetings with them. We have tried to get them to fix the school up. They pretend like they will. We've tried to get the graffiti off. They prevented Brightside from removing the graffiti and wouldn't let them paint. And so we cannot cater to the St. Louis Public Schools when they have been a horrible owner of that community. And when you see the people who came to testify, Robin Wheeler does not live in Penrose or represented. Julia does not live in Penrose or represented. The people who live around it don't want it. I was at an event this weekend. All the people want housing there. They've seen too other places in the city that have torn down their schools and put housing. There's no way they want a mechanic shop or a charging station. And they wanted to tell Mr. Harrison that. So he didn't make himself available for us. They do not want to see buses coming in and out, and the people are going to have to come to their buses. There's going to be noise. There's going to be a power drain on the site. There's safety risks. There are all kind of things that we did not get to challenge or vet. Right now, we are vetting data centers and where they should be placed. And that's a lot less intrusive in a residential area than a bus charge depot with 30 to 60 buses and then a maintenance center. That is an insult to the Penrose community that people would think that is all right to put that there when the school board should have torn it down years ago. And that's a beautiful site for single family houses. Everyone that I have talked to is excited about that site being single family houses, not maintenance or not school buses being charged. I don't think that Mr. Harrison has been full right and forth with me for sure, and not with this commission, because when you start to ask him questions, well, yeah, we're going to come about that later. Because once you get the buses there, then you're going to be able to argue this is why we need. We want to address this holistically. We do not want him to put a partial plan together and then come back. We also want him to face this community. I am prepared to have a meeting now, whether he comes or not, and face this community and answer our questions. We deserve that. And we do not deserve for people to come and tell us, well, we couldn't get anything else, because we can. I've made that my life history of getting grocery stores and other things because I could and know how to do it. This is not a site, but I did, because I do believe in green energy, I did go out and find 5 different sites that are very close to this particular site that would work. And Mr. Harrison, he didn't call me back until yesterday. And when we talked, I said, you didn't call me back. You didn't do anything. He said, well, I did go through your stuff and there's some limitations on some of them, but there are some I could work with. I promised him I would work to get it in the area. I do believe in it. I do not believe in it in this site. And I want that site tore down. And you can just look at what was in the news a few weeks ago, because up on the hill, what are they getting ready to do? Tear down the school and build housing. We had a tornado on May the 16th. We need a clean site. That's the good thing about this site. It is clean. It is much more important that we have a place to build new housing than to put Mr. Harrison's personal thing. He keeps talking about the school buses. St. Louis Public Schools will not own those buses. He will, and he will rent them. We got to look at if there's a long-term lease. There's so many other things that we have not vetted and he has not answered the questions to. So I asked him yesterday when he finally called me back, well, could we just continue this? Because I went along and he said, no, the St. Louis Public Schools told me to push this through and go ahead and get this done. But the St. Louis Public Schools have not been good stewards. They have not been the people looking out for the community. They closed Scullin School, even when it did not need to be closed. The teacher of the year was there. The school was running fine. We had put money in it to put air conditioning. Scullin Schools was a fine school with a lot of famous people that went there, but they closed it anyway. And then they have not done anything. I have letter after letter where I've written to the president and the vice president of the school board. I brought them out to our community meeting in which the people told them either fix it up or tear it down and put housing. They have never requested a charging station be put there. And I think Mr. Harrison didn't want to address my group because he would not have had the few little people, because these people don't live in the community. None of them who've come here today live in the community. I've represented this community for 30-something years, and I can tell you right now, the people who live around it do not want a charging station.
Okay. Any board members have any questions for the Alderwoman? Thank you, Alderwoman. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Mr. Miller.
I would like to testify, but I'm not in opposition. I'm for the charging station for Highland.
Okay, Ms. Hunt, where were you during the time that I was asking for testimony?
I wasn't available.
Yeah.
Is it too late?
Okay, can I go ahead? Time is of the essence.
We can only have one person speaking at a time, so the chairman will signal when he's done.
Yeah. Mr. Miller, let's get you sworn in.
Okay.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Yeah, my name is Sterling Miller. I live at 4968 Maffett Place, St. Louis, Missouri, 63113.
Go ahead with your testimony.
Sure, I'll make it relatively quick. I'm supporting of the position to either continue or to oppose this. I'm also a member of the St. Louis Planning Commission. And as Evan read, the Planning Commission, the Strategic Land Use Plan envisions this as residential development. And another thing is that the plan that we just heard is very incomplete. I mean, some of the board members asked the questions about restroom facilities, whether there's going to be a building on the site. Who's going to own the site? We own long term. There's no commitment to tear down the building. Nobody from St. Louis Public Schools is here to provide any factual-based testimony. Are they going to tear the building down? All we have is secondhand comments, and there's no commitment to that. This is a contract deal with fleet management. What happens when the contract ends with St. Louis Public School? They just change bus companies happens then? Is this site just abandoned and now it's an industrial site? So I just don't think the questions have all been answered. The design of it, there's some discrepancies about the fence height. If you drive down Lee Avenue, the grade is steep. There's a incline that's up at least 5 to 6 feet where the parking is. So if you have a 6-foot fence, you're not really blocking or screening anything on the Lee side. So I'm just totally opposed to this as it's incomplete. The amount of traffic, and we didn't talk about that, the drivers who drive conventional cars will be coming in the morning early. They will get in their buses and then the buses will be driving out. Same thing on the way home. It'll be distracting. Nobody's going to want to invest residentially next to this facility. And the odd thing is, we have so much industrial space so close to this. Right across the street is an industrial park with vacant land available. I know one of the sites that the alderwoman referred him to, as we talked about, is the vacant Richard Brick facility up on Union. So this is just, we're shoehorning something in there. And the school board, as the alderwoman said, has not been a good tenant. And the neighbors that are complaining, I understand their complaint because they want to see something, but we don't even get assurances that they're going to fix the building. So we don't even get assurances that there's going to be any kind of structure. So I just see this as an incomplete, inadequate proposal, and we hope the board would deny it, or we can continue it till it could be refined in some significant way that it make it much better. Thank you.
Any board members have any questions?
And one last thing, I worked for the school board for 12 years as a planner in the planning department. We
Hey,
did the
you can't keep
renovations
talking.
for Scullin School. And what's been going on in vacant schools across St. Louis is just deplorable. But this is not the solution.
Okay. Are you done with your testimony, Mr. Miller?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any board members have any questions? Mona? No?
Nope, I pulled it back. Thank you.
Okay. So a couple of things have come up, and so now I have a question for either Mr. Miller or the alderwoman. There has been mention of other sites. Are any of these other sites owned by the St. Louis School Board? Because I think part of
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
All right.
I can give
That's
you the
all.
5 addresses.
No.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, I will get back to you. Who is this?
My name is Tracy Davis. I am a resident in the city of St. Louis down the street from Scullin School.
Okay. Ms. Davis, I will get to you next.
Okay.
Mr. Gunther, let's get you sworn in.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, if you could state your name and mail and address for the record.
My name is Dan Gunther, and I will use 1200 North Market, room 200, 63103.
Okay, proceed.
Yes. So as a former alderman and a current advocate for the Board of Aldermen, I was asked this afternoon to come to this hearing and listen to the testimony for and against this proposal. As a advocate for the Board of Aldermen, basically I wanted to just show up and say I was contacted this afternoon by the alderwoman from the 12th Ward and presented with a lot of information about this proposal, which leads me to come on and ask for the board to either ask for another continuance or to table this. Essentially, the proposal has a lot of holes in it right now, and the alderwoman from the 12th from July 23rd she's provided written evidence to me that she's asked for a meeting with Mr. Harrison and the school board, a 12th Ward forum. She's asked for information not only on the development site, but also the what will happen when it goes from 30 to 60 to 90 buses, and then what will happen with the maintenance part of it, because it's not just charging. It's been said that it is a maintenance issue also. So are we going to have air hammers taking tires off of buses in the middle of the night with the maintenance facility? Are we going to have a new facility, a maintenance facility built there? So there's just a lot of questions that were brought up that were presented to me this afternoon. So I wanted to come and just say, not opposing the project, not in support of the project, but I do feel that it would be the right action of the board to support the alderman from the 12th Ward and ask for the a continuance so that these questions can be answered by her constituents. Also, just as was recently, just brought up about the original proposal has a 8-foot chain link fence with, or 8-foot chain link fence with barbed wire around it, and now it said, oh, we're going to have a wooden 6-foot wooden fence. Well, I think we all know that when it comes to fleet maintenance facilities, a 6-foot wooden fence is not going to keep noise out. So I just think it's our right to provide the alderwoman from the 12th the opportunity to bring these questions to the developer and have her residents sit down with him. And if he's been giving since July 23rd to have these meetings and there has been no communication until yesterday, it's my belief that the board should stand beside her and ask for these questions to be answered before they approve this project. So that is all I have. Thank you all for your time and consideration.
Any board members have any questions? Thanks, Mr. Ginther. Ms. Day, go ahead, Mo.
It's not to Mr. Gunther, but it is to Archer. Archer, when there's a change in the plans from what is being testified to what's being presented to us, how does that work for us?
So, Mona, in this case, the fence isn't the reason for the variance.
Okay.
So also, this is zoning only application. So if you wanted to grant a variance, you could condition it to the type of fence you wanted.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Did that answer your question, Mona?
Yep, absolutely did. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Davis,
Yes.
let's get you sworn in.
Ms. Davis, this is the court reporter. Since you are on the phone, can you verbally confirm that your right hand is raised?
Yes, I verbally confirm my right hand is raised.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Yes. My name is Tracy Davis. I reside and own the property at 4838 Penrose Street, 63115. I am grateful for the opportunity. I've just come to be aware of this type of proposition or proposal for our area. I have lived in this area for over 50 years. Me and my family, we have been here in this area over 50 years. I went and graduated from Scullin Elementary School. I am aware and familiar with these school buses that were there when I was there, of course, some years ago. However, as I have been listening to Mr. Harrison and others, this is not, I'm all for green space and all of that type of thing. And I would very much like a forward-moving economic development type of project in that area. However, I do not think at the current proposal that this type of business is appropriate for this location. This is primarily residential. There's the school across the street. There are too many unknowns about this project. I just think there needs to be much more information available to the community and an opportunity for the residents to come and meet with all of the parties involved regarding this project so that we have a full understanding and information of about what this is. At its current stage, I am opposing to this at its current stage. There's too many unknowns. Well, we just want to do this right now. We don't know what that is. And yeah, we'll have this later. No, that is not how you do business. This is not how you come into our community with all of these holes in your project. It's just no. If you want to sit down with the community, which I think is more appropriate to do so, we welcome that. But this that you're trying to push through because of your EPA guidelines, no, I am opposed to what you are proposing at this juncture. Yes, we need businesses in our community, but we need people who are going to come into our community with transparency, with full information, and giving that and having the opportunity for the residents to view and review what is being proposed in our community. Thank you for your time.
Any board members have any questions? Thanks, Ms. Davis. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Okay, I've got a couple of questions for Mr. Harrison. Let's start with your inability to meet with the neighborhood, the alder person.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. And I will say that Alderwoman Tyus has been very forthcoming, offering other sites, and I really appreciate that. She did say that one of them was also owned by St. Louis, and that is true. There was another school. However, that is also in a residential area, and we would have to do the exact same process. That was my understanding. I could be mistaken. The other ones, we did a fairly thorough review of those. If we combined a few of them, that could maybe work. Now, to the community meeting piece, I think what was referenced was a letter that was sent to me asking for this meeting. I did respond to that email and said, when would you like to meet? I'm planning to come to St. Louis. And I never heard back from Alderwoman Tyus. Now, in her defense, I think she told me yesterday that was because that email went to her spam folder. I'm not exactly sure why that's the case since we had previous email communication, but I'll give that the benefit of the doubt. I do believe that was in her spam folder and that was a miscommunication. I called her yesterday because I had not heard from her and I wanted to make sure we touched base before the meeting. So I was fully open to having a meeting with the community. Unfortunately, it did not happen. If the continuation is granted, I am certainly open to coming out there. I've been to this site probably 6 times to look at. So I have no problem with coming out and meeting with the community.
Okay. So my next question was what is the time frame for the federal money?
It's a good question. There are 2 different timelines. we need to show substantial progress on a project by spring of 2026. So project of this size, that's not a super long time, right? I think that can take different forms, but that's the rough timeline.
Okay. So substantial progress, spring of 2026. Gives you a short window, but a window of opportunity to meet with the alderperson and the community.
Certainly. Yep.
Okay. Next question. How long is the lease for?
So there were some questions about the site is not going to be leased. St. Louis Public Schools still owns this location and they will retain ownership. And it was very important to them that this project be built on a site that they owned, not on a site that someone else owned. Highland, the company that I work for, we're a transportation service company. Well, all we do is electric school buses. So basically, we would be helping with the electrification portion of the project with St. Louis. That agreement, it's probably going to be in the realm of 10 to 12 years, something like that. But those buses say St. Louis on the side of them. They don't say Highland on the side of them. Well, actually, they might in small print now that I think about that. But they look, for all intents and purposes, they look like they're St. Louis Public Schools buses, and they're for the benefit solely of St. Louis Public Schools students.
So who owns the buses?
Highland owns the actual vehicle under this structure.
And we, St. Louis School, rent them from you?
It's a service contract, so if it's easier for you to think about it as a lease, that's okay. It's a little different than a lease. Basically, it's a whole bunch of bundle of services that shields the district from financial and operation risk and takes advantage of, Highland's expertise operating over 1,000 EV school buses of all makes across the country. We're a partner to make sure that fleet electrification goes well for districts. It's sort of a scary thing, right? Transportation has been pretty much fixed for the last 50 years, and districts are taking a big step changing to EV. And we're a partner to make that transition easier. We partner with districts all across the country on fleet electrification. So that's my primary role, right, is to help the district with fleet electrification. The selecting of a site is obviously a big piece of that, but my main role is actually designing sites, working with the district on how operations will work, and all of those things.
So basically, you don't have a problem waiting until you can meet with everybody and present a complete plan of what you're going to do at this location and what's going to be done. So we know what kind of facility is going to be there, what kind of repair facility. I don't need to have tow trucks. It's not a small tow truck to bring a bus back. So if it has to be brought back, it's a big truck that's to be brought in. And to bring that through a neighborhood and stuff like that, I would like to see a complete plan of everything's going to go on. And the neighborhood has an opportunity to see that before we sign off on this.
After this meeting, if the district still is, this is their primary location that they're interested in, which I think it is, certainly that meeting needs to happen.
Okay, thank you.
We need to see, if the alternative locations as well, because the community they may reject this altogether. And Alderwoman Tyus has alternative locations available for this. And that needs to be looked at hard.
I agree.
Just because the school district says this is what we want doesn't mean that's what's going to happen.
I totally agree with you. I'm working on behalf of the school district, so they have told me that this is their primary location. So we have designed a site here. That does not mean they're not open to other locations. And I did take a fairly hard look at the sites Alderwoman Tyus provided. Now, each one of them, none of them are the same size, right, as the one we're looking at here. So that is a major constraint. Now, if we combined a couple of them, maybe that's an option. The biggest one also has a huge building on it that we'd have to tear down. So it's not like they're really easy sites that we're walking into. But I want to emphasize that I do really appreciate her providing those. And I totally in all my conversations with her, get the sense that she is really in favor of a project like this in her community, and then it's just not at this location. I am doing my job in presenting what the district has asked me to do at the Scullin School because it is a viable location. I totally understand that if the community is not in support of it, we need to either work to change that. And if we can't, that's understandable as well.
Okay, Mr. Harris, the other of the other 5 properties, how many of them are owned by the St. Louis Public School Board?
I believe that of the ones that Alderwoman Taz provided, there is one other school. It's actually quite close down the road. I think it's called Gunlock School, if I'm not mistaken. It also looked fairly residential to me and also has a very large building on it with a smaller parking lot. It is that was my impression when I looked at it.
Okay, and then my final question, and I don't know that it was quite clear in your testimony, is the school board looking to demolish Scullin School?
Yes, the school district is looking to take down Scullin School. The reason that was not
as a part of this project.
Yes, the reason that was not directly included in this plan is because Highland, as a company, we do fleet electrification. So like our expertise is the electrification side of things, not the tearing down of large buildings, right? So it would be a separate but parallel process to do that. And certainly we've talked to the school about being involved with that. But, we put forward, what Highland is experts in, which is developing EV depots as a first step, knowing that even if you guys approved this and we later found out that it wasn't going to work to tear down the school, there's a good chance that we would not move forward if both those pieces could not happen.
Okay, so I thought that would I thought that would be my last question, but now based on this additional testimony, my question is perhaps would this not be better for both the school board and Highland to be presenting this as a whole?
I think that there is certainly a world where presenting it as a whole is a really good option. Like I said, Highland was moving ahead with the piece that we were experts in, right, which was the development of the EV depot. I believe when I talked to the zoning department a number of months ago, I was told that if the building was going to come down, there would need to be a separate process ran as well. And so that was my understanding.
Gotcha. And is there a master plan showing all of the phases?
There is a plan that has like approximate locations of where, a maintenance facility would go. It is not set in stone by any means.
Okay.
So I have a question. So this is more than just a charging station, which is a little deceiving in my mind of what you're presenting, because what you're presenting is a charging station, but really there's this master plan, and had the Alderwoman not brought this up, we would not have known that. And I don't really like that, because I don't really like being deceived. And that's what I feel like you've presented to us, is a little deception. And maybe that's not your intention at all, but there's a master plan back here, which is something more, which sounds to me like there's going to be a big maintenance issue for all of these buses and I don't know what all. And I would want to know the master plan just for the future, Mr. Harrison.
Understood. Certainly not our intention to be deceitful.
I know, but that's why I'm giving you feedback.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mel?
I was just going to say it's just there's a lot more to this than what we've heard today, and I don't know if he has all the answers, but I think it needs to be presented to us. and I think it needs to present to the community that's going to be in, so they understand exactly what's going to go there. I can say, oh, I'm going to dig a hole in the ground. It's like, that's great. But then find out they're going to put a 20-story building on top of that hole is a completely different story. So I think the community itself needs to know exactly what's all going to go there. That's all.
And I believe the next proposal should include St. Louis City Public Schools. Mary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to speak to the meeting that took place between the zoning department and the PDA department and a representative from Highland Fleets. I'm sorry, Mr. Harrison, I don't have your name on the meeting that took place. Maybe you were there, but there were other representatives from Highlands, Mr. James Klingensmith, I'm sorry about that, and a Mr. Tom Vidas. So for the board's information, we did meet with representatives from Highland Fleets on March 18th of 2025 to discuss the project. At that time, it was described to us as a project that would have 60 EV school buses and their associated charging stations. When we talked about traffic flow, we talked about how it would be 60 trips in and 60 trips out. We did not find it to be a good candidate for rezoning to a classification that would allow for this, because this is essentially an auto-related type use, and those are only allowed in our industrial districts. And according to the land use map, and then just according to good zoning practices, it wouldn't make sense to rezone property to industrial right next to a residential area. So I just wanted to clear that up for the board.
If I may, I would corroborate that conversation as what I remember as well. But that you guys told us this was the path should we want to submit a request. So
yes, with the understanding that, we don't have the right to tell people they cannot apply for a permit. Anyone can apply for a permit and go through the process. And in the case of this permit, the process is to come to the Board of Adjustment, because this is not a use that's allowed in this district. I'm happy to answer any questions for the board members.
I didn't get to hear everything that you said, Mary, because you froze on my screen.
Okay. Where did I leave off? I'll try to pick up.
Right after you started, actually. I said you froze,
again,
but I guess everybody else heard you.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, and for everyone on the board, she did not freeze on my end, so I have it on record.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Man.
Anybody else?
Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Okay, hearing none, I am going to read into the record exhibits, certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, memo from planning and urban design, email requests for a continuance from Tom Fides, copy of the proceedings from July 23rd, 2025, meeting notice letter for September 24th, 2025, City Journal public notices for September 24th, 2025, photographs for September 24th, 2025, Sanborn maps for September 24th, 2025. Memo from Planning and Urban Design for September 24th, 2025. Letter in support of the building commissioner's denial with attachment submitted by Alderwoman Tyus. Letter of support from Charles Williams. A letter of support from Yolanda Owens, resident. Letter of support from Yolanda Owens on behalf of the Penrose Neighborhood Community Association. Letter of support from Constance Sir, Executive Director, North Newstead Association. 5 letters of support submitted by the petitioner, and a letter of support, excuse me, from Kimberly Ann Collins, State Representative, 77th District, who was looking to testify but had a meeting and was unable to. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. And with that, we conclude the testimonial portion of our hearing. Thank you, Laura, for your service. Board members, 5-minute recess, or shall we continue?
Go. Done.
Let's continue on.
Okay.
Joe, you there?
Appeal.
He is here and he can hear us, but his audio is now not working. He's been texting me.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Oh, there we go.
Right.
Okay. Appeal number 11972, 2215 Macklin Avenue.
I have a problem with this one because, you can park the cars, but I don't see this where the city streets should be their parking lot. And number 2, you might have all the cars there, but when everybody, you got cars, if you have everybody coming in, let's say, like you said, from for a birthday party or for an event where like a wake or something like that, all of a sudden you get 30 people show up, want to have their cars valeted, and you've got cars all over the streets. I don't think they've thought that out completely. I think they need to take that back and do a little work on that myself. Because as well as I do, you've been to places where, cars for valet, you've had them 2 or 3 deep and they're across the street and everything else. I just don't think that's a good fit for this.
Is it that they're parking on the street, Mill?
No, but
Or
you've been to valets where you've got cars. Everybody shows up at the same time, gets out of their car. Or they all want their cars there. People are sitting there talking, saying goodbyes, and their cars are ready to go, and it creates a mess there. Those streets on the hill aren't that wide to begin with. I don't have a problem with them putting the event center there. I just think they need to come out with some better ways of doing things, and then if you got a valet that's a 1/10 of a mile away, you got these kids running back and forth a 1/10 of a mile. They're probably not watching when they're running across the streets and stuff like that.
They're probably not taking them where they are supposed to.
It's a recipe for disaster.
well, the appellant did mention that they had an agreement at one point with one of the parking lots at one of the schools or churches.
They said they talked to the church, but they were denied. But they could talk to the school. I think they need to go talk to the school and get that straightened out first. I think they need to straighten their parking out before they
And not park on the curb. I don't know why they didn't come prepared.
Evan, was this a use and an area variance?
No, just a use. Because it's in the A district and parking
Has
isn't addressed for restaurants until the F district. It's like
Okay.
it gets baked in, so to speak.
Right.
But I would say, Mel, if if you guys are open to the restaurant event area, I would think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mary, but that they could condition that they have to have a parking agreement for a certain number of off-street parking spaces as part of the approval of a variance if they wanted to.
How many
They could have a condition that read something to the effect that the occupancy permit cannot be issued until they provide whatever kind of parking agreement you want them to have.
how many spaces would they need if they were to have parking?
Well, he testified that there was space for 50, so it's usually 3 per parking space. So 17 off-street parking spaces.
I just think the way he's got it set up right now is going to cause a lot of problems because I said you've been to events. I've been to events where valet parking just becomes a disaster.
So
2 events a week, that's a lot.
The only thing I was going to say, and if you get, the wintertime when the streets may have snow on it and they're not all the way to the curb, what do you do with the cars then? Where are they going to park them?
Good point.
What do you do then? Now I'm going to take these cars down and park them, and I got valet out in the middle of the streets. They can't get all the way over, and I'm going to park the cars up here, but they couldn't get over here because they didn't plow that part of the street yet or whatever. I just don't think
They don't plow the streets at all, Mal.
Come on, I'm being nice.
You're being way too nice.
It's just, I think there needs to be a little bit more work done on this part of it before,
So I think since this is a conditional use that and it doesn't sound like anyone has a problem with the event space, that we could approve this with the condition that they provide off-street parking of a minimum of 17 spaces prior to approval of a occupancy permit.
Yeah, I just want them off street.
Yeah.
Is that somebody's motion?
That is my suggestion, but
why won't you make the motion? Yeah, I mean, go ahead and make it. I'll second you.
Okay, I move that I'm sorry, go ahead, Archer.
Do you want to put the 1,000-foot distance requirement or some other distance requirement on those parking spaces?
Shoot, I don't have the map up any longer, and I don't remember exactly how far.
I think it was 1,000 feet, but
yeah, I
they're
know
they're not going to make 1,000 feet. I guarantee you. I know the area. There's not 1,000. There's not off-street parking for 17 spots within 1,000 feet.
Well, you can make it. You can make 17 spaces off street for valet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't.
Go to be off street.
I don't necessarily want to. I don't. Yeah, the valet portion, I'm not really interested in. I agree with Mel about the off-street parking. I think that there needs to be off-street parking, and I was just trying to pull up where the parking was at the school that they were referring to. You know what?
I'm working on it, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It says 0.2 miles.
Yes, then he says that within a 10th mile, they've got all that parking up by Ace Hardware. So there you go.
Okay, so so 0.2 miles. So let's say I'll make a motion that I'll make a motion that we approve I'll make a motion that we approve this use with the conditions that there be a minimum of 70 that there is, how do I want to say this? That there is
Say that you would like them to provide us with a parking agreement.
with a parking agreement, yes, with a parking agreement of at least 17 parking spaces within a quarter of a mile of the building.
Facility.
And is
The
that
Ace Hardware is 0.3 miles, just FY, which is beyond a quarter of a mile. So
Make it 0.3 miles then.
But within 0.3 miles.
And
So in
Shaw is
order
like
for us
2.5 blocks.
I'm
I
sorry,
need
Mary.
to make a point before we finish this up. Otherwise,
Yep.
you guys are going to make a motion that we can't enforce. So
Yep.
when we draw the circle to verify that they are actually within it, we're going to need to know a linear amount of feet. So does anyone know how many feet 0.3 miles is?
Ask ChatGPT. That person's smart.
This is the board's motion, not ChatGPT's motion.
So quarter of a mile, well, I don't know what a 0.3, a quarter of a mile is
you could say 1,600 feet and you would have yourself covered.
okay. Within 1,600 feet.
Thank you,
So
Evan.
Yeah, 1,600 will cover you.
Okay.
Just
Can I
do the
repeat
math.
back what I think the motion is, just to make sure we're all in agreement?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what I have down is prior to an occupancy permit being issued, the petitioner must provide a parking agreement with a minimum of 17 off-street parking spaces within a 1,600-foot radius of the facility. Is that correct, or do you want to change anything?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Nicely done, group.
I can just see winter just being a disaster with
I
the.
can second that. Is
Yeah.
that your motion, Anthony?
That is my motion.
I'll
I'd
second
like
that.
to say something before we vote.
I'm sorry, what was that, Joe?
I would like to say something before we vote.
Yeah.
Typically, if you have valet, when the event is happening, they have valet stand that could be 3 or 4 cars deep to accept the people coming in. Secondly, we're talking about 2 times a week having an extra 17 cars. That's pretty much a drop in the bucket when you get down to number of cars on the street, etc. So that's just my input.
That's just what's required by the code. That's not how many cars are actually going to be there.
Yeah, I mean there could be more, and I'm saying at that point, if they're using street parking, curb parking, that's fine, but they need to have an agreement for the minimum of 17 cars.
We are talking the hill too. That's tight as can be over there.
So
the question in my mind is, where do the people that go to the restaurant, where are they parking now?
Where they're parking now?
Yeah, I think where they park now. So Joe, I actually didn't want to put the valet piece on so that, really any of their customers are capable of parking in this parking area that has been designated off street. But, obviously, whether they decide to only use that for valet is up to them. My concern was just getting some off-street parking for the additional use.
Can we add one more thing to it, Anthony? And it should not become a nuisance, however we word that.
Yeah.
So if it becomes a nuisance where people can't get through, we can get them here and readdress it.
Yes. And Mary, can we add that it not become a nuisance?
I have that, sir. Thank you.
That way, if our best intentions don't work out and the neighborhood has a problem, they can get them back here. We can address that.
Okay.
Know if parking will trigger a nuisance letter or not.
I'm not talking about parking. I'm talking about all the traffic being backed up because of it.
Right. I just don't know if that will trigger a nuisance letter under the problem properties.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
The building can be considered a nuisance.
Pardon?
If the vehicles congregating in front of a building can be considered a nuisance, they would look at it holistically, and
okay,
that would be triggered by neighborhood complaints, but that is a possibility.
Good to know. I'm going to call that commercial vehicle across the street from me in.
Okay. So I have made a motion. Mona has seconded that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I'm sorry, Joe, what was that?
Regretfully, aye.
Let's see. That's
3 to
4
1.
yeses, no no's. Motion carries. Findings, it will not be a detriment as conditioned.
Thank you.
Okay, so appeal number 11975, 4309 Holly Hills Avenue.
That's the tower they want to add 6 inches to.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mel, seconded by Joe multiple times. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries.
That's pretty fun.
Findings,
Will not be a detriment.
I don't have any conditions.
no
I know.
conditions.
I stopped it. I said that won't be. It won't be a detriment.
Thank you.
Okay. Appeal number 11978, 5740 Dr. Martin Luther King Drive.
Oh, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Mona. I'm sorry. Were you saying something, Evan?
Sorry, just asking, no conditions?
No, we're getting there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all the regular conditions for electronic signage, 30
Wow.
seconds for changing of the message.
And what about the hours? Do you want hours on there, or the applicant asked for 24 hours?
I'm gonna let him have 24 hours. There's not a lot of things going on over there. It's not gonna disturb anybody. If he feels like he needs that for his business, and the alderperson was fine with it, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion made by Mona, seconded by Mel. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we want to put a time frame on the changes?
I did
We
30
did
seconds.
it. 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Won't be a detriment as conditioned.
Joe, I didn't get your vote.
Yes.
Oh, there you are.
Okay. All right.
Pops in.
Motion carries. Okay. Let's see here. Finally, well, no, not finally, but appeal number 11954, 4160 North Kings Highway.
I'd just like to say I think we should continue this.
Yep. I'll second that.
I'll make a motion to continue so that
I would have stipulation for that, Mona.
Huh?
I want one stipulation with that.
Okay, what is it?
They actually meet with the neighborhood and a representative of the school board be there. So they can talk about the entire project, not just charging the buses. We need a plan. We need to know
We want to see
where
the
they
whole
get the
plan.
money to tear the school down.
Absolutely.
When is that gonna happen?
I'll make
Absolutely,
a
Joe.
motion to continue.
Hold on just a second, Mona. Yes, Archer.
I just want to note that the board can suggest that, and we'll put that in the letter that this is the next steps that the board suggests, but the board can't mandate that the petitioners provide any specific information. So it would just be a continuance to allow them to gather more evidence, and then you can provide these are the things that we would like to see.
Okay.
There you go.
We'd like to see the school board attend the next meeting. We would like to see a full plan of the entire site and what the intention is for the whole plan. And that we want them to see them meet with the community and with the alderperson. That's what we're
Okay.
giving them time to do.
And so how long are we tabling this?
60 days. Up to.
How
What do you
about
think?
No, they can't get that down.
Yeah,
I don't
we can't
know.
get it on a agenda.
90 days.
Thank you.
Up to 90 days. That way, if they get it done in
Up
60.
to 90 days. There we go. That's my motion.
Yeah, I want to see a whole plan. That's like
I
telling
do
me I'm
too.
going to dig a hole here and go, okay. Next thing, oh, by the way, I was going to put a 20-story building here. No.
And spring of 2026 that's 6 months away. I mean, if you're talking about spring, I mean, spring.
You just took 3 months away.
Yeah, we took that. That's why I thought 60 days, but hey, fine.
It's just up to 90 days, Anthony.
Yep.
So if they need it, if they get it down 60, they get it down 60.
Yeah, chop chop.
But maybe that for long before we can get it back to us.
Well, they got
Sure.
time to get it done then.
So
If the school board wants this, then they need to get cooperative.
Agreed. So we've got a motion on the floor, but it has not been seconded.
I'll second it.
All right.
I tried.
No, Joe seconded it. He tried. He tried numerous times.
Okay, so we need to know who's going to second it. Joe?
Joe.
Me.
Okay.
Okay. Motion made by Mona, seconded by Joe to continue this for up to 90 days. um, with the hopes of all of the other items that Mona made. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. And then we've got, let's see here.
Dismiss things.
So how do we do this? Appeal number 20472.
So the first one is appeal number 11758.
Okay.
And again, both of these appeals will have to vote separately, but both of these appeals have submitted letters and asked to have their projects dismissed without prejudice. They're not moving forward for whatever reason. So it's just a matter of you closing them out.
Okay, so you just need a motion from.
So
I'll make a motion.
So we need a motion.
So appeal. So I'm sorry, and I'm just going in the order that I received it by email. But
I'm
okay.
Agenda. Sorry.
Appeal number 11758, 4857 Goodfellow Boulevard.
I'll make
a motion.
I'll make a motion to dismiss without prejudice.
I'll second.
And third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh. Joe.
Okay.
Motion made by Mel, seconded by Joe. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Then appeal number 20472, 3921 Gravois Avenue.
I'll make a motion to dismiss without prejudice.
Second.
Motion made by Mel, seconded by Mona. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries.
Minutes.
Meeting minutes.
I have a correction. Let me gotta find out where it is. It's on. It's the one for. No, that's not it. It's a guy by the name of Pona. Adjustment. It was on page. It's all the way down there. Basically, what it said, it just. How do I do this, Mary? There's
the appeal number.
It's appeal number 11797. And now I can't get to the part I need to get to. It said that it had that it had Joe named as chairman, and then it had you making a motion, Anthony, and then it turned around in the next paragraph and said named you as chairman and Joe is just a member. So I'm trying to find it where it's at. I cannot find it. Anyway.
Yeah, Chairman Klitzy made a motion
Yes.
to table the appeal.
Okay. Well, it's in the 11987. That might have been the first motion that was made on it. The second motion was probably made at a different time because Mr. Klitzy was the chairman at one point.
Okay, you're right. Okay. You're right. That's right. I see what you're saying. Okay, at the time he was chairman, Mona. So
I'm just reading front what it says. Yeah.
I missed that. All right. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as printed.
I'll second.
Okay.
And that was
Motion made by Mel, a long second by Joe. All of those in favor of approving the meeting minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
just raise your hand.
Aye.
Yeah. Opposed, motion carries. Meeting minutes are approved. Now, any new business, Mary?
I have no new business for the board. We do have a meeting next week. I did have a question for Archer. Archer, should we be thinking about taking another look at our minutes? Or I'm sorry, not our minutes, but our revised rules and regulations. Aren't they supposed to be up by October 1st?
Yes, that was going to be a conversation that I wanted to ask that the board just be ready to have. I was going to ask for a closed session at the next meeting so that we could discuss the rules, and we will plan to be circulating.
So can we do that at a meeting that I won't be here next Wednesday, so I would like to have time to review them. So if you could send them to me, I'm actually leaving Tuesday.
I did remember that. So you'll be back. When is the first day that you'll be back?
We're almost done.
October 7th.
Okay, so I will have them for you to review, for the staff to review and discuss, and then the board will have a little bit of time to review it, and we'll plan on having a closed session to discuss any changes that you all would like to see on October 10th. Does that work for everyone?
Sure.
October 10th? October 8th.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm looking at the September calendar. October.
Yeah.
8th.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Motion to accept. Wait a
I
minute.
got a question. Are we supposed
Yeah.
to review the minutes? There were some extra minutes that weren't in the minutes last week for the Park Avenue, 43.
Yes, there is, hold on a second.
Do we need to do just one set of
Appeal
minutes?
number 11949, meeting minutes from September 10th. Thank you, Mona. I nearly forgot about that, and I was just looking at it.
I did read them. I wasn't at the meeting. It was intriguing. I can make a motion. I wasn't here. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from that meeting, but
I'll make a motion to
okay.
accept the meeting minutes as written.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion made by me, seconded by Mona. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Meeting minutes approved. Anything else?
Nope.
Anyone?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that, but only once, Joe. Motion made by Joe, seconded by me. All of those in favor?
Aye.
I don't know where you're going, Mary, but have a good time.
I'll see you guys.
All
Thank
right.
you.
See you
Have
guys.
good-
All right, bye-bye.
I was hoping to vote no, so I could have 7 no's.
Yeah.